ThinkorSwim is a more powerful tool than you might already know. You can utilize ThinkorSwim as what's happening on the chart behind me to automate your backtesting. Those are not real trades behind me. Those are trades that the system I have coded into ThinkorSwim are taking according to where I've told the code to buy and sell. And then this study here next to my head is a floating P&L. It's showing you how much money that the trades would have made or lost according to that strategy. You can utilize this once again to automate your back testing, to quickly find a profitable strategy and to prove a strategy that can make you a financially free trader. In today's video, I'm going to walk through the creation of a strategy. By the end of this video, you all will have code template that you will know how to mess with and to update yourself so that you can work to find a profitable strategy that all you have to do is follow those trades and you can start to make money in the market. So hopefully you are excited for this. If you are, please hit the like button. If you're new around here, hit the red subscribe button. We'll be doing a lot more of this kind of stuff on the channel moving forward. To start, I'm going to go ahead and remove all studies. Let's start with a blank chart. So let's also just go ahead and jump into the weekly, well, sure, weekly, daily, whatever. Jump into the weekly here. So to create a strategy, to create the code that's going to start taking the back-tested trades like that for us, we're going to come into studies. We're going to go to edit studies, the same way you would add moving averages, RSI, MACD to your charts. But instead of studies, we are going to click on strategies. There's a lot of out-of-the-box strategies already in here. All these ones that have locks, you will see in your strategies as well. These are ones that come with ThinkorSwim. So you can just add some of these to your chart and see how they work. And you can even click into these to get an idea of if you need to see, how to code certain things within these strategies. But what we're going to do today is we're going to come in and we're going to create a brand new one. Like I said, I want to walk through the creation of a strategy with you all. It doesn't do you any good if I just put the code on screen and then just give you the code. I want you all to kind of know how to mold this code so that you know how to come in and work with this stuff yourself. So this is what you're going to see once you go to, once again, let me just show you. I don't know how quickly I talk through that, but let's walk all the way back through it. Studies, edit studies, strategies. Make sure you click on strategies and then create. This is the screen you will be taken to. We're going to go ahead and name the strategy moving average cross. Now, I already have that. Okay, I'm already having that too. I've already created a lot of these myself. So moving averaging crossover, I don't know what that means, but whatever. The point of this code is not to make a profitable strategy. I don't know whether this code is going to be profitable or not. It's just to show you all and to give you all a template that you all can work with. So the first thing you're going to see when you click on it is this add order kind of command here. You're going to need this later, but not right now. So just give yourself a couple of lines above it. So this is going to be a little bit of a coding lesson. If you know nothing about coding, I'm going to do my best to walk through simply. ThinkorSwim utilizes ThinkScript. It's a lot like Java, a lot like JavaScript that's built on top of that, but it is a proprietary language. So if you know Java, know JavaScript, this is going to make sort of sense to you. If you have no idea about coding, don't worry. That's why you're here. That's why you're watching this video, because I'm going to walk you through a very simple lesson. This stuff doesn't have to be complicated. A lot of people get really put off when I say I utilize code in my backtesting. It's really not that hard. I promise it's not that hard. I'm going to do my best to talk through it just as if you know nothing about coding. So if you do know about coding, maybe you can make fun of me in the comments because I'll probably say some wrong things. Anyway, we're going to start by initializing our variable. So the first thing we're going to do, I'm going to input a variable of short MA length equals 9. And then I'm going to input a variable of long MA length equals 20. So what this is just giving numbers a name, right? It's good coding practice to never hard code variables. You always want to be able to have your variables separated from your code so that if you're coming back into your code, by the way, what did I type here? Short, long, what the heck is going on? So that when you want to come in and change the variables of your code, you don't have to find everywhere they're utilized. You can just go to the top of your code block and say you want to use the 50 as your short MA length instead. You can just change it there, and then we will be calling this input throughout the code as we utilize it. You don't have to do this at all, but I'm going to try to teach you all good coding practices. And speaking of good coding practice, it's also good practice to put in comments. I'm going to put in the pound sign, the hashtag sign, I guess it's called. And does anybody say pound anymore? I don't know. But I'm going to put in the hashtag, and I'm going to write in variable for short MA, and then variable for long MA. This is just another good code practice so that when you guys look back at code that you created, you look back at this code 6 months from now, you will be able to know what the heck you're doing here. So there's the initialized variables, but now what? That's it. As far as the computer knows now, all it knows is that you have a short MA length that equals 9 and a long MA length equals 20. This code knows nothing about, you want to use moving averages, you want to buy and sell based off of moving average crossovers, and knows nothing about that. You have to give the computer everything. So now let's take these variables and let's put them into a moving average. A simple moving average is what we're going to use for this code. Well, you might be saying, Trey, I have to teach the computer what a moving average is. That sounds awful. It sounds really complicated. It's not. Every study inside of ThinkorSwim can be pulled into a strategy. They're all pre-coded, can be pulled out of the box into a strategy. So all I need to do now is we're going to give it a name. We're going to define a variable called short MA. And this is where I'm going to pull the study, right? And I will show you all by the end of this video, you all will know where to go look to find studies like this, to find, if you don't want to use if you want to use RSI, if you want to use MACD, I will show you all by the end of this video where you can find that stuff so that you all can hopefully come in and start making code yourself. So we're pulling in the function simple moving average. It's a function, so it has to have open close parentheses at the end of it. This is to accept parameters. Now, we do want this to have a parameter. We want this to have the parameter of length. Length, that is a parameter that the function simple moving average accepts, is length, and we're going to set it equal to short MA length. What is that? That is the variable that we instantialized before. Once again, that's why we instantialized it before, so that we don't have to put length equals 9 here. As I said, in your functions, in your arguments, you never really want to be hard coding variables. You want them instantialized at the top of your code like that. So now we're going to do the same exact thing with long MA. Let me just see if I can quickly type this in. I do have a typing speed over 110, but when I'm on camera, it is way worse, as with anything. Long MA length, say here. So this is the same thing. This is our short moving average length set to 9. Short vis-a-vis the length is shorter. Long vis-a-vis the length is longer. So we're looking at a faster moving average crossing a longer moving average. So now we have that set up. But once again, all the computer knows is, okay, whoever the coder, you, the human, has now a variable defined as short MA that is a 9 simple moving average, and a variable defined as a long MA that's a long moving average. Not overly complicated, right? Like I said, this stuff doesn't have to be complicated. We instantialized variables. We created variables that are set to equal functions that are studies out of the box for ThinkorSwim. Now what we have to do is build the strategy, right? Okay, cool. We built our moving averages. We built all the pieces. We have our blocks. We have our Legos now. We went to the store, bought our Legos. Also, you should add comments to these. I'm not going to, just for the sake of the video, but please, trying to teach you all good coding practice. Add comments as you go through. I'll go back and do that after this video. But so we went to the store, we bought our Lego blocks. Now let's put them together how we want to. All I'm going to do, once again, it's going to be a stupid, simple strategy. The point of this is not to give you all a profitable strategy. The point is to showcase how you can do this. So all we're going to do is have the code buy when the short moving average crosses the long moving average. So when the 9 crosses above the 20, it's going to buy, and then it's just going to exit when the 9 crosses back below the 20. So it's going to buy bull crosses, sell bear crosses. So what we're going to do, we're going to define another variable as buy, and we're going to set this to, so stick with me here as I'm typing this in. I will explain it, kind of try to explain it as I go. But so short MA, so now we're calling in the variable that we built here that represents the moving average with the length 9. We're calling that in. That's all we're doing here. now it knows, now it knows these are the building blocks, right? These are the Lego pieces being called into the argument that's going to actually start, that's going to set up what we want this trade to do, what we want this strategy to do. And I'm going to go ahead and put open bracket 1, close bracket. So what that does, it in ThinkScript, that looks a bar back to the left. So we're looking at the short moving average length from a bar ago, from whatever last bar was at whatever time frame you're looking at. And I'm going to set that to be less than, that needs to be less than the long moving average of a bar ago. So the first argument, look at last bar, whatever time frame you're looking at. The beauty of this, and this is something I'll go over in a second too, but the beauty of kind of ThinkScript and how this works is this will set up at whatever time frame you're looking at. Whatever, I don't have to code like look at last week's bar, look at last day's bar, look at last 5-minute bar. Whatever time frame you look at, it will auto adjust to. So whatever time frame, look at the length of these 9 moving average, make sure it is less than the length of the 20 moving average. And so this also has to be true in order for buy to be true. And the short MA is over the long MA. So make sure, by the way, end every argument, every line you make ends with a semicolon. So we're looking at the last bar, the length of the 9 moving average was below the 20. And then this bar, the length of the short moving average is over the 20. There is a much simpler way to do this. There's actually a command I can use called crosses over. I could just do short MA crosses over long MA, but I want you all to kind of understand what we're doing here. I want to write it out a little bit longer frame than that. Maybe I shouldn't even have told you that, but I don't want people that know a little bit of ThinkScript to look at this code and think I'm really dumb. People that know how to code are already going to watch me type this and talk through it and be like, what the hell is this guy talking about? But I'm trying to Eli 5 this as best I can because I know most of you watching are going to have zero coding experience. I want to try to make this easy. So now that's our buy. So now we have a variable at buy set to buy. Look back, make sure it's under the previous bar and over at this bar. That's how we know it crossed on this bar, and that's why we buy that bar. And then the sell is simpler. Just when the short crosses back below the long, when the 9 MA crosses back below the 20 MA. Once again, all we're doing here, we've defined nothing new here inside of these arguments. We've already got our Lego pieces, right? We've already instantialized our variables. We've utilized those variables inside the functions that are the moving averages. And now we're just calling the variables that we define those functions, calling those Lego pieces into our buy and sell. So now, once again, all the system knows is, okay, there are variables called buy and sell. It knows what it wants your buy and sell to do. But that's it. If I hit okay and run with this now, nothing's going to happen. I've not told it to do anything yet, right? That's where this next bit come in. This add order, this is once again, an out of the box. This was here when we started the code. But this is where the code is going to actually, okay, let's go make these orders. Let's create these orders based off of the variables that we have set here. So I'm going to set this to buy to, there's another underline. Buy to open. That means buy to open a position. I want to open a position. We currently have no positions. I want to open a position, and I'm going to set this equal to buy. Instead of no just means false. Don't ever do it, right? Just set it equal to buy. This I might should have named it something else. It might be a little confusing, but this is the variable buy that I set here. So it's going to buy to open whenever buy is true. It's going to open an order whenever this variable buy is true. Whenever the previous length was below and now it's above. Whenever you get your MA cross, it's going to buy to open and open that. Now we need to add another order. Of course, we're in our positions now. The computer now knows how to enter our positions. Now, how do we get it to exit our positions? I do not think this is case sensitive, but I'm going to capitalize it all anyway. This is going to be sell to close is sell. So same idea. Okay, we're in a position. Now what do I do when I sell? I order type sell to close. So sell to close position and set it equal to the variable sell. And that's it. That's it. You've got a strategy. You've built a strategy where you initialized your variables. You use those variables inside of your function parameters. So you built all your Lego pieces. So this is just, here, let's do this. Let's do, blank. Let's go building Lego piece. is. And then that is that. And then down here, this is where creating strategy. This is creating the part of the strategy. This is where where you tell the Lego pieces how to get put together. And then this is where you place orders. Everything below this is where this is what the computer is actually pulling and doing. This is where things actually happen. Let's put that actually. Things actually happen below this, right? Nothing's happening up here. You got your Lego pieces, you went to the store and got them, you put them together, then you tell the computer that you want it to buy when this is true, you want it to sell when this is true. Hopefully that was very helpful. If I go ahead and hit apply and okay now you can see your trades on the chart. You can see here, it's buying when the 9 crosses over the 20, and it's selling when the 20 crosses over the 9. Well, Trey, I can't see that. Let's go ahead and put some simple moving averages on. So if I now inside a study, simple moving average, I'm sure you all have done this bit in ThinkorSwim. I'm going to add 2 of them. The out of the box is 9, so I just need to change 1 to 20. Make it a different color, apply. Here you go. You see here, when the 9 EMA, the blue line, crosses above the 20, it buys the close of that candle. It buys wherever this candle closes and gets in, and then when it crosses below, it sells the close of that candle. So you can see where your entrances are happening now. Okay, great, yay, yippee, Trey. But now what? How do I utilize this in my testing? Well, another study you can add is floating P&L. So you're going to add this floating PL study, and then you're going to see this is how much money that trade made. What do we look? I think we're only looking at, we're looking at 3 years. Let's go to max available on weekly. Now look, you can see since 1993 to 2022, the September 15, 2022, every time this strategy has come. That's so important. That's why coded backtesting is it's why backtesting in general is important, but doing it with code is so useful because it really gives you every single time it happens. It's not just picking and choosing certain times. Every time the MA has crossed over, the 9 has crossed the 20, it's bought. Every time they've crossed back below, it's sold, and it's up $26,000 on the weekly chart. Now, let me show you this bit. If I come into the daily, you see how it adjusts. Let me go to daily max time frame as well. But you see how it adjusts. It will adjust to whatever time frame you're looking at, it will auto adjust to. That might be the best part about ThinkorSwim backtesting, is that you don't have to overcomplicate it by putting time frames into your code. It runs the code against whatever time frame you have. If I put it on the 5 minute, it's now running against the 5 minute. This is just for the last 5 days. Is it profitable over the last 180? Like I said, this was not meant to be a profitable strategy. This is just meant to give you all the idea of this. It's very much not profitable. Don't trade like this on a 5 minute chart, by the way. But you get the idea. Whatever you run it against, it pulls that idea. It pulls it right in. Also, it's pulling in 100 shares every trade. That's what it's defaulted to. So every time it's entering 100 shares. Every time it exits all 100 shares. I can teach you all in the future how to make that a little bit more complex. But for now, if you want to change that, say, well, Trey, I can't afford 100 shares of whatever I'm trying to trade, or I want to buy more, you go to studies. So let me do this again. Studies, edit studies, your global strategy settings. You can make this whatever you want. I'm going to make it 100,000 shares, or was that 100,000? I don't know. But I'm going to make it a bunch of shares, right? Then if I hit OK, it's now trading that many shares. I'm now up $269 million in the last all time on the weekly. Of course, that's trading ridiculous amount of shares. Maybe I'll screenshot this for my thumbnail. $269 million. Maybe not. We'll see. But that's kind of the idea. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to give you all this code in a Pastebin link in the description down below. So open the description of this video. You will find this code. Once again, this is not like you should in no way try to trade like this. The point of this was to give you all, you now have a base, right? You have an idea, you have instantialized variables, you have those variables put into functions, you have buy and sell, and you have buy and sell orders. So you have a base. Now what you can do is you can start to come in and mess with this. Maybe you don't want short, simple moving averages. Maybe you want to use exponential moving averages. Maybe you want to use RSI. Maybe you want to use MACD. However you trade, you can start to mess with this, and you're going to do that. You can learn how to do that in the ThinkorSwim Learning Center. It will show you, so this is the simple moving average. It shows you what the parameters are. So it shows you what you can code inside of those parameters. And it also gives you, don't worry about the plot too much. This is more for creating custom studies, which can also be done, by the way. It might be something else we cover, but this will start to show you what you need to be putting in, what can be put into your code. And I think it even gives you, it sometimes will give you some example code. It looks like it's not on this one, but whatever you want to find, if you want to find RSI, type in RSI. RSI is right here, right? Now, all of a sudden, you can look through and you can look at, okay, RSI takes in these kind of parameters. You can start to utilize this template that I've given you to start, and the ThinkorSwim Learning Center, which will also be linked in the description down below. Utilize all that. Start to mess with this. And this is a very, very 101. I Eli-5'd this as much as I could, explained like your 5 as much as I could. If you all want to see some more complex stuff, this is what I do. I'm a system trader. I utilize code in my back testing. I trade off that back tested code. This is how I trade. This is what I do. If you all want to see much more complex stuff, how you need to insert time frames so that you can utilize it for day trading to make sure you're not holding overnight. I can go on for hours, but if you all want to see more complicated stuff, make sure you hit the like button on this video. That's the easiest way for me to know you all enjoy this stuff and want to dive deeper into it. And then obviously make sure you're subscribed so you don't miss out on those videos. Hopefully you all found this helpful. I really enjoyed making this video. I enjoy showing you all kind of a little bit of what I do. I wish I learned that this existed towards the start of my trader journey. It would have saved me years of losing money before I started using this code to backtest and to really prove a strategy works before you trade it, right? I wish I knew about this earlier, so I love that I get the chance to bring it to you all today. With that being said, I'm going to go ahead and sign out of this video. I will catch you all in the next one.